Today we are going to go through a simple how to twist and rip dreadlocks tutorial. If you'd like to know more about the twist and rip method in general, the pros and cons of the twist and rip method, you will find a link to my twist and rip method informational video in the description to this video. But if you'd just like to see how it's done and follow my how-to, stay tuned. What you need for the twist and rip method: hands. Hands are what are going to be doing all the work in the twist and rip. If you don't have hands, then, well, you're in trouble. Optional, plastic bands. These can be indispensable if you are planning on sectioning the hair, as they can keep sections held together and keep sections apart from each other to help keep hair that you want to dread in one place and hair that you don't want to dread in a separate place. And obviously you're going to need some hair, which we have here. On the left we have an already twist and ripped dread, and here we have a nice undreaded section ready to go. Okay, to twist and rip, you twist and you rip. We're going to put a few twists in it, as you can see, twisting the hair around, and then we're going to rip towards the root, and then release, then twist a couple of times, and rip towards the root. Every time you put in a couple of twists and then grab two random pieces of hair. So it doesn't matter if you pull these two apart, you just get two parts and pull. And as you go, you will start to find knots forming. I've got a knotted lump here. And all you're doing is adding new knots on top. The friction caused as the hairs pull past each other is what is going to cause these knots to form. And so you can make quite long pulls, provided you haven't put in too many twists, because the more twists you put in, the more likely you're going to end up with big gaps of undreaded bits. So you can have longer pulls but not too many twists. I'm putting in maybe between 1 and 3 twists. As you can see, it's starting to form up, solidly dreaded from here to here. You can take it really tight to the root if you want. You run the risk of getting it too tight there and having the dread sort of stick out, which not everyone really wants. But even if you get it really tight to the root, once you start washing it, it's likely to come undone. What you're doing here is not actually forming the dreadlock. There's a misconception that, oh, I've backcombed my dreadlocks and created the dreadlocks, or I've twist and ripped and created my dreadlocks. What you're really doing is getting the section here. You've got your section and you're knotting it up just enough to hold the section in place while the dreadlock forms. Over the following months, this section will mature and lock up and form into a dreadlock. All you're really doing here is making sure that that section is knotty enough so that it lasts long enough to mature. So you want to put in enough knots so that it does not just wash out. And that's why the longer your hair, the better, because the longer your hair, the more knots you can put in, and therefore the less likely it is it's just going to wash out. As I get further down, I start to put in more twists than I did at the start, and that's because when I twist, it's no longer just twisting loose hair, it's twisting all the dreaded hair as well. So I'm getting less twist on the bit that really matters, the loose bit. So as I go on, I twist it a bit more than I was previously, but that's because the twists are sort of distributed along the entire length, and most of the length now is knotted. Gets tricky once you get down to the tip. A lot of people will want to twist and rip right to the tip so you don't have loose looking tips. And well, it is possible to twist and rip right up to the tip and get the tip looking all knotted. What tends to happen is once you start to wash the dread, the tip is going to come loose anyway, so I would not stress too much about getting the tips too tight. And of course, since this is just holding the sections together, you do not need to worry too much about the overall look of the dreads because they are not at all representative of the finished dread, as they have a lot of changing and maturing still to go. I'm just going to hold this together with a plastic band. I'm not a massive fan of leaving bands on young dreadlocks. A lot of people like to put bands on young dreadlocks because they keep them looking neater, and so they think, oh, if I take my bands out, the dreads are going to come out and look really messy. I'm not putting the bands in there for keeping the dreads looking neat because, I mean, the bands, if you leave them in there, will make them look neater, but you're just holding it together with the bands rather than letting the dread knot up. I'm putting these bands in just to hold it together while I work on other dreads, because now I know this stuff that's knotted up, it's separate from the other sections, and I know that bit is done. So there's other twist and rip dread there. And there we go, that is how you can twist and rip normal straight hair and start your dreadlocks. If you have any questions regarding the twist and rip method, starting dreadlocks, or dreadlocks in general, you can get in touch via the comment section below this video. If you enjoyed this video, you can click the like button. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, you can subscribe. You can tweet me at twitter.com/lazy_dreads. You can join the Facebook page at facebook.com/lazydreads. And as always, all my stuff can be found at lazydreads.com. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Farewell!